name is Veronica Smith. I am a community and economic development strategist by profession, and I have been in Sacramento since '89. And I have worked in the District 2 community for the past 10 years, and am proud to be running for Sacramento City Council to represent this district.
Okay. And what is your vision for District 2, and why do you want to serve on the City Council?
My vision for District 2 stems primarily from the fact that there's so much pride here in the community. There is a lot of potential. There have been many starts and stops with projects, with leadership. And what encouraged me to run, to step up to run, was being here. I've seen the disappointment. I've seen these starts and stops. I've seen the challenges. And that's really what compelled me to accept the call to step up, to help realize the vision that many would like to see here, and that's thriving businesses. It's clean and safe streets. It's opportunities for residents to thrive. It's unity. All of those things are the vision that I have for this community and are the reasons that I accepted the call to action to jump in this race. One of our biggest challenges that is most visible is the increasing population of unhoused. We've seen it increase exponentially over the past 3 years. It was exacerbated with COVID-19, and with that we see a lot of ancillary effects throughout the community, whether that is encampments within neighborhoods, in addition to encampments on sidewalks, trash and debris scattered throughout the district. We have an excessive amount of vacant lots that are unkempt, overgrown weeds, which attracts other elements. So there's a variety of different issues that we have, the most visible being the unhoused, the blight, and things that come along with it. And one of the things that I would do when elected is, first and foremost, accountability. Accountability needs to be put into place as it relates to some of the low-hanging fruit, and as it relates to enforcing some of our existing ordinances, and I would say proactively enforcing some of our existing ordinances versus being reactive. And I think that that's one of the challenges that I've seen here in District 2 is that the city has been reactionary as opposed to proactive as it relates to solving some of the challenges that our residents would like to see solved.
So what are some of those ordinances specifically we're talking about?
If we just look at our code enforcement, if you look at, if you just drive through, you'll see a number of violations, or stemming from, let's just take the challenge we have with illegal dumping here in the district. I've seen piles sit for 1 week, 2 weeks, in some instances 3 weeks. Why is that acceptable here? So when I say enforce existing laws and ordinances, we know that there's supposed to be a 72-hour response time typically for code enforcement when a resident calls something in. So now we already had delays before COVID. So now in some instances we have 2-3 week delays. Our response time here is a problem for our residents. It's a problem for me as a leader, and these are some low-hanging fruit that we need to address. So I would say one of the things that we have to do a better job at is our relationship with the county and who is responsible for what. A lot of times blame is just pointed everywhere and nothing is done. But what we do know is that the county traditionally is responsible for social services,
Mental health particularly.
mental health, substance abuse, and we also have nonprofit providers that provide these same services when the city is the lead on standing up
Filling
shelters.
in some gaps, so to speak.
So we have a lot of voids. We have a lot of gaps that need to be closed. We have a lot of personality conflicts and clashes that often get in the way of action and results. And so these are gaps and loops that need to be closed, and they need to happen simultaneously to doing the work to get people into housing, to get people into permanent housing, while delivering effective services and solutions in the process. Well, we have a lot of getting our house in order that needs to be done. So when we talk about promoting businesses and attracting new businesses to our corridor, we have some housekeeping to do and some cleanup to do. So not only do we need to make sure that from an aesthetic perspective, it's comforting to customers. At the same time, we have to make sure that there are measures put into place that are protecting not only the businesses, but are helping to put them in a position to attract new business and retain existing businesses. So whether that is ensuring that there are incentives for businesses to install cameras, that there are incentives in place to make
Alarm permits.
Yes, I would associate that all in one package.
Sure.
Because we know there's a lot of factors that are at play in some of these things. And it just comes down to really listening to the businesses, to their needs. A lot of times the city will implement programs that businesses can't take advantage of, or it's not things that they need. So we need to find greater flexibility in terms of supporting businesses in the ways that they need to be supported, or meeting them where they're at as it relates to stabilizing them, making them be viable businesses that will then attract more customers, attract additional businesses to make this become the destination, the corridor that everyone has been rooting for it to be for decades. Police reform, that term is a very tricky question, tricky term because it means so much to...
It means to whoever you ask it. It
Exactly.
means different things. Yes.
Exactly. So from my perspective, police reform is a two-way street between the community as well as the police. We've seen a lot of things that have gone wrong with bad actors in our police department. And at the same time, we've seen it in the reverse as it relates to things that have been done by individuals and that warrant responses that we may not always agree with. And so I think we have to continue the open dialogue and bringing the community to the table to help devise solutions around what policing looks like. And if we continue to foster that, if we continue to put things online, like I know the city stood up the Office of Public Safety and Accountability, I believe that. So if we are good stewards of some of the things that we have put into place that are supposed to protect the community and hold police accountable when necessary, I think those are the things that make the community a healthier, safer place. But I think it goes both ways between the police as well as those who live in a neighborhood and a community.